was invited to visit the White's house. And yes, so Catharine White was a painter and she lived in Banff in the early 90s. I was drawn to this gingerbread recipe because it really talked to me. It reminds me when I first discovered gingerbread and ginger at all, basically. I discovered that I love ginger and I love gingerbread. Hello everyone, I'm Stephanie. I'm from France and I'm a pastry chef. Today we're gonna make a gingerbread from Catharine White recipe. So the purpose is to actually mix old and new generation and blend different culture together to make a different recipe. We're gonna do the very traditional way that Catharine made that gingerbread, but I'm also gonna bring my own personal culture in it. We're gonna make a topping, which is a caramel rosemary sauce, which is one of my favorites, and I hope you will like it too. First thing, you're gonna heat up your oven to 350. Then prepare your pan with some cooking spray and a piece of baking paper. So for the ingredient, we work with the Beauvalet Feu de Lion that got all the ingredients in them. To make Catharine gingerbread recipe, you will need half a cup of butter, unsalted butter, and soft, half a cup of regular sugar, half a cup of molasses, 1 egg, 2 cups of flour, 1 teaspoon of baking soda, and 1 teaspoon of ground ginger. You will finally need half a cup of water. To make the caramel and rosemary sauce, you will need 3/4 of a cup of cream, 1 cup of sugar again, white sugar, and half a cup of water, and finally 2 sprigs of fresh rosemary. So I'm gonna bake it for about 20 to 25 minutes at 350 degrees or until a knife come out clean. So we're gonna boil the cream, and once it's boiling, we're gonna turn off the heat and cover it for 10 minutes. So once you've taken the cake out, you can pour over the caramel sauce and you can let it cool outside for about half an hour to an hour before you can cut it. This would be perfect to eat for like tea time. For example, in France, we really like to have snack around 4:30 in the afternoon because we eat very late. So it would be very good with a cup of tea. I would suggest like a white tea, like a white peach or like a jasmine tea, something kind of light because there's a lot of flavor already in the cake. And you don't even have to do the caramel sauce if you want to save yourself the trouble of that technical part, because it's really good just on its own. But if you want to make it for a fancier dinner with friends, then make the caramel sauce and serve it with an ice cream, like vanilla ice cream, for example, and you will definitely impress your guests. Actually studied law and became a lawyer in my own country, but I decided that actually I didn't like it anymore, and that's when I was like a little bit lost. I was like, what am I doing now? And decided to start traveling, and I went to New Zealand. And that's because I was really passionate about pastries. When I was doing my studies and working as a lawyer, I was always cooking and doing pastries during the weekend. And everyone was laughing that one day you're gonna make cake and you're gonna make a living out of this. And yeah, well, they were right, because that's what I'm doing now.